Welcome into what we consider the Sharknado of MMA shows. I'm Kenny Rice along with the legend Boss Rutan. Welcome to Inside MMA. Okay.
That was a good one.
That was good. I thought you'd like that. And Boss, as we talked about on this show, you just never know.
Never know.
Anthony Pettis, remember over a month ago he pulled out the featherweight title fight against Jose Aldo. Going to rest up for a while, it looked like. Get back in shape, ready for another fight. But wait.
There's more.
Now he's fighting Benson Henderson. It's a rematch. They last met December 16, 2010. That is when Pettis won the lightweight title of the WEC. Now they meet on UFC 164. Pettis replaces TJ Grant, who had to pull out, unfortunately for him, with a concussion. So Pettis and the rematch with Henderson. It was the finale of the WEC the last time they met.
It was. It was that beautiful Showtime kick that we talked about.
That's what brought Showtime into fashion.
It was. That was very nicely said. Benson fought 7 times, though. Showtime only 4 times with 1 decision loss against Clay Guida. And Benson beat Clay Guida by decision. So is that going to say something? We're going to find out.
Ron Kruk caught up with the UFC lightweight champ Henderson and discussed this change in opponent.
I got the text from my manager, and I was like, yeah, sounds good, you know. At some point in time, I knew we were going to dance again. I was going to be able to get my hands on Anthony. Figures out. I'm going to get my hands on him a little bit sooner than I thought. You know, Dana gave him the shot. Pettis is a little more, you know, unexpected. You don't know what he's going to throw. TJ Grant's a lot more boxing-based, good hands. But they're both tough opponents. Both are going to be tough fights. Looks like I got Anthony next. Get my hands on him. After that, it'll be TJ. You'll get your chance, too.
Anthony Pettis is a guy you know very well, as he was the last man to defeat you almost 3 years ago. What does this shot at redemption mean to you?
I think for me, redemption from my one loss in the past like 6 years or 7 years or whatever it is, for me, that redemption is step by step. But it was, you know, how I fought and how I won against Mark Bocek, how I won against Jim Miller, how I won against Clay Guida, Frankie, Nate, Gil, you know, all those. That was my redemption, you know.
So would it be more, if it's not redemption, revenge? I mean, is this a rematch that you have wanted for some time, Benson?
I've definitely been waiting to get my hands on Pettis again. It's not on me to give title shots. It's not on me to say, oh, this guy earned that. You got to earn your way to a title shot. You got to work your way up the ladder. They gave the Pettis. You know, TJ got hurt, so he's the next guy. He's going to be standing across from that cage for me come August 31st. I'm excited for it.
Like it or not, Benson, your first fight with Pettis will forever be remembered for his off-the-cage kick. How sick of seeing those highlights are you?
I wouldn't say sick of it, because, you know, you know you're going to be on the wrong side of a highlight reel. It was an amazing kick. I can even admit that, you know. I'm consoled by the belt around my waist a little bit at nights, so it's not too bad.
I'm sure you'll be okay. So, are you planning maybe breaking something out during this fight as spectacular as that kick was?
I don't know, man. That would be hard. That kick was pretty spectacular. At the moment, at the time, no one had ever seen anything like it. No one's ever imagined anything like that. It was completely out of the box. It was out of the box thinking. Maybe I'm not as creative as that, but what I do, I do it pretty well. I go in there and beat guys up.
All right, thank you, Ron. Thank you, Benson.
Oh, yeah, and he's right with that.
Yeah.
What he does really well.
That's what he's been doing, trying to defend that title now and get some revenge on Anthony Pettis. That coming up next month. Coming up again soon will be the 7th time that Invicta's had a fight this year. Isn't that amazing?
That's crazy.
Because number 6 was last weekend in Kansas City. It was headlined by Chris Cyborg. Outside of Ronda Rousey, perhaps the most anticipated female fighter whenever she's in action. And she was against a former Strikeforce champ herself in Marloes Coenen. And it was all Cyborg.
It was all Cyborg.
Just dominating this fight.
There was a few nice shots there from Coenen. Coenen had some really nice, well-timed double leg takedowns, but they just got stuffed. Like with so much ease, it was scary.
So with it all, Chris Cyborg is now the women's featherweight champ of Invicta. It's kind of redundant to be the women's featherweight champ of Invicta, isn't it? You're just the Invicta featherweight champ.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only gender they have.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
But
just thought we'd mention that. Okay, so now it brings up this. Ronda Rousey's going to fight Miesha Tate at the end of this year after they get through coaching against each other. I say, it's on Access.tv this week, that Chris Cyborg will eventually be in the UFC for this showdown. But at the moment, is she the best female fighter in the world right now?
Ooh, I was looking for this because in her weight class, she definitely is the best. Overall, like pound for pound, I don't know. With Rousey comparing, 12 wins, Rousey 7 wins. Cyborg has a loss, Rousey doesn't. Cyborg has 2 decisions, Rousey doesn't. Cyborg a first 5-round finishes. And also, Rousey has all first-round finishes. Also, in the beginning of the career from Cyborg, I take it their fights were not against high competition. And if you look at that, then you can say, oh, wait a minute. She had also 4 amateur fights, so that makes 10 fights. Then, you know, 11 victories and 10 victories is not that far away. Then I have to give it to Rousey because of the non-losses and all first-round finishes. That's the only thing. But in 145... yeah, for sure, Cyborg is the best. Okay, so let's say she beats Tate. You know, again, speculating. Rousey beats her, fights Zingano. Zingano gets the fight. Had to sit out because of the injury. Beats her. You start moving into 2014. I don't know how much competition Cyborg's really going to have left. Kunum was a big test, maybe the only test right now. You figure the best want to fight the best. I got to believe that someday Cyborg and Rousey will agree on a catch weight, and there'll be a lot of money, and it will be the most watched female fight ever, and probably rivaling some of the men's championship fights. I guarantee you that, but yeah, it's far away indeed, and it's got to be at a catch weight, although I saw now Cyborg, she had to go completely naked at the weigh-in to make 145. So I don't know if she can make 140, but we're going to find out, you know. And then I thought Marina Shafir, maybe you might say, she's the roommate from Ronda Rousey. She's 145 pounds, but she's still early. She's going to turn pro now. I think she had 3 matches, all 3-round finishes, all by armbar as well. Also went to the Olympics with silver, with the Olympics with judo. So I think that one is going to come, and I hear her striking already is pretty good. So I would love to see her fight, but of course, needless to say, she can't fight Cyborg right away. She needs a little bit, you know, get in the game, in the pro game, and see if she can do the same thing what she did.
Basically, by the time we do our 400th show, when our 300th's coming up, we'll probably be talking about the Cyborg showdown with Rousey. Probably. When we come back next, we're talking about Bruce Lee and a man who is familiar with him, Matt Hume, standing by live. Stay with us inside MMA.
Jam-packed card we have for you tonight.
Every week on Inside MMA, you get the fastest information in the sport.
This is Ultimate Access.
An up-close look at the critical issues.
I don't like the TRT at all.
It should not be allowed.
We're out in the field with correspondents giving you access on the inside.
She's nasty. She's mean.
You get the honest opinion.
His mouth gets him fight.
And live interaction with the experts.
This is Fight Club. We're skilled fighters.
Don't miss Inside MMA. Live next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Gotham Comedy Live, July 25th. Charlie Murphy hosting. Live, uncensored. You better come check it out, man. It's gonna be all kind of things happening. You might even see a giraffe in the room. Orangutan. Superman may show up. It's live and uncensored. Anything can happen. I might even, you know, bring my friend Cinnamon, the stripper. Totally uncensored. You know what that means, right? I mean, I can do whatever I want. And that means that anything can happen.
Bruce Lee was the man, and I watched all his videos.
His philosophy on fighting is one of the best.
I have a deep respect for him, and he certainly influenced me.
He was the first in his type of style. He's a legend.
I think the biggest things that he's ever brought to martial arts or anything is discipline and respect.
Kudos to him, man. We love Bruce Lee.
The most influential man in all of martial arts, Bruce Lee, the legend. who's passed away 40 years ago tomorrow. It has gone by quickly, hasn't it?
73 he would be now.
So Bruce Lee has passed away, you know. I think most people remember where he was. Some people have asked me, what's the best MMA movie? And here's the way I qualify it. I think there's a separate category. Bruce Lee has his own category. Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee movies, own category, and then other martial arts movies. Kind of like John Wayne, Clint Eastwood. They have their own Westerns, and then everybody else is Western.
Yeah, way above everything else. I saw that for the first time in my life in '76, so that's 3 years after it came out, and changed my life. I wanted to become Bruce Lee. That made me start. I think every guy my age who's a mixed martial artist, I guarantee you 90% of them started because of Bruce Lee.
Matt Hume knows a little bit about Bruce Lee as well. We heard a quick bite with him. He is the owner, the head trainer of AMC Pancration, and he joins us now. His dad, a policeman in Seattle, at one time trained with Bruce Lee. And we pull out the big map and we go to the beautiful city of Seattle, and there is the ever handsome Matt Hume. Matt, welcome back into the show. We're talking about
Thanks,
Bruce.
Guys.
We're talking about Bruce Lee. We'll talk about your current fighters in a moment. But from the stories your dad told you, what memories do you have of the Bruce Lee that your dad knew and took lessons from at one time?
There were really two Bruce Lees from, what I recall, not only from my dad, but from Bruce Lee's best friend, Taki Kimura, who's a good friend of mine and really the only one left who was one of Bruce Lee's good friends and students. They tell me there were really two Bruce Lees. There was Bruce Lee the actor and Bruce Lee the martial artist. And what you saw in film was very different than what he taught. My dad was exposed to what he actually taught, which was, take you out into the carport garage because the police are going to be working on the street back then, and train you right there on the cement. That was the Bruce Lee that my dad knew.
Okay, yeah, we got, of course, Danny DeSantos here also. What is the philosophy from Bruce Lee that you took and put it in mixed martial arts?
Is that for Dan Inosanto?
No, that's for you, because he's not here then.
Oh, that's for me. Oh, okay. I thought you said Dan Inosanto was there. The philosophy that I took from Bruce Lee was really do what works. I mean, it's that simple. He said do away with the things that don't work, the traditional things that may or may not work. Take the ones that do. Don't be stuck to one style. And take everything and anything that works from any different style and make it yours and make your own style. And that's what MMA is.
You and your dad look alike, by the way. We were showing pictures of your dad in his police uniform. It looked like you. At first, I thought you were a cop.
Nobody wants to hear that. He's a handsome man.
It was a
compliment.
compliment.
They look like their dad.
It was a compliment. We talked a minute ago.
Yeah.
Perhaps you heard us talk about Bruce Lee movies. I say there's another look. There's little Matt with his dad. That's a great picture, Matt. You would love this. But I said that there's martial arts movies, and then Bruce Lee, I think, is in his own category of movies. Is Enter the Dragon the one? I mean, it's the Gone with the Wind, the godfather of them all, or do you have a particular Bruce Lee moment from TV or film that you enjoy watching?
Enter the Dragon is it. I mean, for everybody. I mean, I think Boss would agree. Boss said it too. He said, everybody from our era got into martial arts because of Bruce Lee or was influenced in some way in martial arts by Bruce Lee, and I agree with that statement. And his influence carries on through us to the next generation too. And the biggest influence of our generation was that movie, Enter the Dragon.
All right, how's Demetrius doing? And you're absolutely right. Demetrius doing, just got a fresh baby. How is he doing? Did you see the baby already? Did you go to the hospital?
No, I haven't been to the hospital yet. He texted me at 7 a.m. this morning and let me know that the baby was there. And I've had 4 myself, so I know what it's like to have everybody crowding in on you. I'm giving him his time, him and his wife their time to settle in with the baby and let the visitors pass, and then I'll go hang out with them and meet Tyron. But he's doing great. He's looking incredible in training, and when they went to the hospital yesterday, that was the day off, and so he's going to miss 1 day of training today, and then he's going to be back in the gym tomorrow. And no more stress waiting for the baby. He's there, he's healthy, so everything's good, and we're looking to have a good fight on the following Saturday.
Matt, always good talking to you. Thanks for your time and sharing the recollections, and good luck to you and Demetrius as you get ready to defend that flyweight title.
Godspeed.
And congratulations, by the way, to Demetrius and his lovely wife,
Yes.
Tyron, the beautiful baby that we got a glimpse of. See, so he's got that now. He's settled in. Baby's healthy. Thank God, all's good. So it's John Moraga now next. That's what he's focused on next to defend his title.
I hope he's not going to be a tyrant, little tyrant. It's spelled different, though, of course. It's going to be
not a tyrant.
You never know.
We're tyrants sometimes, the crew says.
True.
Hey, I was kidding, Adam. I didn't expect you to laugh. Former UFC interim heavyweight champ Shane Carwin. You know, he has a new role now.
Yeah.
He's a vice president.
Vice president.
Vice president. He's still not wearing a coat and tie. Like, he's a vice president of fighter development for prize fighting championships. He was at PFC's second event over the weekend in Denver. And here is our cage access as Carwin gave fighters a pre-fight speech to kick it off.
You guys all know where this can lead to. That's what PFC is about and what Seth is putting together. This is going to be the most professional show around, or one of them. And I know that the UFC tonight is looking at a couple of you. This is the organization you want to be with, because we're going to let these fighters go to the UFC and live their dreams. And I see some other UFC fighters that I fought with. And believe me, we're best of friends. We're brothers for the rest of our life because of that. Let's go out there and have fun tonight and give yourself a chance to live that dream.
It's time to spill some blood. War on 3. 1, 2, 3. War! Good luck, guys.
Hit him hard, hit him high, hit him low, hit him again. Welterweights, Chris Holcomb, 5-0. Chino Montoya, 7-2.
That was a nice brawl. See, keep your hips down. If they can't grab your leg, there's nothing. Look at that. That looks to me here, they say guillotine, but it's like almost like a bulldog show on the side, because he also uses the left arm from the opponent against him, and I mean the opponent's own left arm.
Montoya hasn't lost in over 3 years, puts away Holcomb. Now we move on to Tony Sims against Thomas Denny. Denny, who trains Montoya, the veteran, taking on the 6-1 Sims.
Yeah, Denny's always exciting. You know, he'll brings it. He either knock somebody out, submit somebody, or get knocked out himself. And I think this time he is on the receiving end.
And it's Tony Sims. All 6 wins by stoppage. This is the one that Shane Carwin said that the UFC looking at for now to see how well he's going to keep developing.
Well, how far? And how they're looking through a TV screen, or you think they like this? What do you think?
It's more like this.
Yeah, with the two of them?
Oh, what
do you think, Frank?
Do you have any Grey Poupon, boss? I'm looking at that fighter. I see you out there.
Grey Poupon on a ham Swiss sandwich is freaking awesome. Try
that is.
That's mustard, Grey Poupon.
That's it. All right, coming up, more food tips, maybe fashion tips, and a lot of fighters to talk about. We're watching. Please watch us.
From boxing champ to MMA hopeful, will Holly Holm be the next great female star? Pat Miletich is live with the Inside Scoop. This is Inside MMA.
My DNA is hard work. It's crazy.
Sound.
It's crazy. Come on. Life. Passion.
Grace.
Love.
My DNA.
My DNA is music.
That's my DNA.
That's my DNA.
If you've been thinking about financial options for your retirement, maybe how to provide some real security for you and your family, you really ought to consider a reverse mortgage with AAG. In uncertain times, it's a safe, effective financial tool. It's already being used by hundreds of thousands of other Americans. It allows you to eliminate monthly mortgage payments, pay some bills, or simply enjoy your retirement more. A government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG allows seniors to stay in their home and turn their equity into tax-free cash. To qualify, there are no credit score requirements, and remember, you continue to retain complete ownership of your home.
Call 1-800-789-0566 to receive a new special edition handbook featuring reverse mortgage borrowers, plus an educational brochure and DVD presented by Fred Thompson, absolutely free.
Find out more. Call AAG today.
Call 1-800-789-0566 now.
You're looking live at Houston, Texas. Action already underway at Legacy Fighting Championship number 21. Coming up later on is the main card, and it's one of their better cards. You can see it here live only on Access TV, your
home
for
mixed martial arts.
And welcome back inside our studios here in Los Angeles. Legacy 21 has Hobart against Huerta for the vacant featherweight belt. Let's take a closer look at the headliners in this one.
To the canvas.
He's a tough guy. He's a very, very good grappler. It's going to be a really good test, you know, and that's why I do this, because I like to get tested, and I want to see, you know, how I do against a really, really good grappler.
And there's a comeback from Cook, and he'll come to finish.
He's definitely going to be looking to knock me out, and I think if he's going to knock me out, he's going to have to do it first round, first minute, and that's just not going to happen.
I'm going to fight as smart as I can, as hard as I can, to the very, very end, you know, until I get my hand raised.
Tonight, he's going to face the toughest guy he's ever fought before. He hasn't been past the first round, and I'm really going to push a pace on him and test his cardio tonight. I owe it to a lot of people, to Legacy, to McMaynard, to bring the belt back to Dallas, you know, and just help MMA in Dallas a lot more, and I can't wait to do that.
I even had dinner with all of my friends and family last night, and I called it the Last Supper. They didn't really know what was going on. It was just me. I invited everybody. You know, I'm ready to die in there if that's what it takes. You know, I'm not coming out of there unless I have that belt.
Also on the card tonight, middleweight championship, Bush against Crow. Leonard Garcia, his first fight since being released from the UFC, taking on Ray Trujillo. And Holly Holm, the best boxer out there in the female ranks, going to go 4-0, trying to against Alana Jones, who has some tough fights. She fought Fallon Fox, and now she's fighting a good boxer in Holly Holm. And joining us now, one of the legends in the game. He'll be ringside for us again tonight in Houston. Let's go to Pat Miletich as we pull out the big map.
Big
boss.
map is back.
Big map's back.
Woo!
Houston, Texas, we go. And there is Pat. I know him.
Boys.
Hey, good, Pat. Pat, first let me ask you about Holly Holm. I find her very interesting because, you know, we've talked about before a current boxer going into MMA. We certainly haven't seen it among the men. We're seeing it among the women now. What about Holm as an MMA fighter?
Well, Holly Holm, 14-time world champion, 2-time female boxer of the year in the Boxing and Ring magazine. But a lot of people don't know she was national amateur kickboxing champion before she boxed. Also been working extensively, you know, with Kevin Jackson, Greg Jackson down there. And Winklejohn's been training her since she's 16. And I think that switching from boxing over to MMA has reinvigorated this girl. She's trained very hard for this fight. And Alana Jones, who's a very tough girl, gave a good accounting of herself against Fallon Fox, is definitely going to have some problems if she can't get this fight to the ground tonight.
Now, what do you think is going to happen with Leonard Garcia versus Ray Trujillo?
You know, Ray Trujillo is a dangerous fight for Leonard Garcia because he's a very heavy-handed guy and he fears nobody. Garcia's been on the 5-fight slide, but he's, 6 times he's won Fight of the Night award in the UFC. The guy's always been known to be exciting, but he wants to go out and get the W tonight, win this fight, and keep winning so that he can get back into the UFC and get back in that title hunt. You know, every fighter wants to do that, and that's Garcia's goal. But if Trujillo can get a knockout tonight, it'll be the first guy that's ever stopped Garcia.
Yeah. Main event, Pat, Hobart, Huerta. What's the strength here that's going to prevail tonight from which fighter?
I'm sorry, say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Who's the stronger fighter, either on the ground or standing up? Whose style's going to dominate, do you think? Main event.
Who's the stronger fighter in the main event?
Yes.
Oh, I tell you what. Huerta is a speed demon. The guy, if you were to fall asleep at night and dream of being a speed demon, this guy's amazing. Hobart's great on the ground, good wrestling. So if he gets the fight to the ground, he's probably going to win. But Huerta, he's got to get past the speed and the strikes of Huerta. I'm telling you, this kid's fast.
Pat, we look forward to listening to your commentary. Thanks very much for your time. I know there's a lot going on backstage there. You can see all the fighters. It's not always easy to hear.
No, it is, because people warming up. A lot of noises. Dunk, dunk, dunk.
Now hear this. Who do you think is going to leave with the legacy featherweight title?
Ooh.
Hobart or Huerta? Wow, it's like it's popped up right next to us.
It's amazing.
Who do you think? You can vote online or using the Access TV fight apps. Here are now, boss, the current results.
The current results, well, like Pat said, it was Huerta, you know, the speed.
Speed is always tough. Download the apps using iTunes. Use it to check stats. Vote in the polls. Talk to other fans, plus a whole lot more.
Ooh.
Just hang out with all of us if you'd like, whatever you'd like to do.
That's it. I got it on my as an app.
Yeah, you do?
I do.
Good for you.
I do have it, yep.
That's because you're a technological whiz.
Ooh.
I said whiz, not whiz. Whiz.
That's Matt Jubes, the wizard.
That's right. All right, now time for our, because this happens to be the day of the week, Friday Finishes. And they look something like this.
Show it to me. I love this opening every time. Kicking your head in, knee in the face.
Tahara against Abe.
Boom. Nice, short, right hook on the button will do the trick. Whiplash effect in the neck.
Shinpei Tahara is perfect, 2-0. Now we move on. Damon Owens against John Rejo. Look at this kick in New England fights.
Yeah, but he lost his balance. Who cares, boss?
Owens wins his pro debut.
Nice.
Miriam Nakamoto, Muay Thai champ, second MMA fight against Duda Yankovic.
Wow, yeah, she's on it there. Very, very great, good striking.
Nakamoto is on a roll, 2-0, 2 knockouts as an MMA fighter. And still has the Muay Thai thing going and has Snackamato, which is a little snack mix thing that she endorses.
Oh, nice. What is it? That? Chocolate, vanilla?
It's a little snack stuff.
Cookie?
It's a cookie, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it savory? Is it sweet? Can you find it on your grocery shelves? Probably not.
Can you add anchovies to it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Just
anchovies is hard to go wrong with anchovies.
You know, anchovies and pineapple is a good combination in the pizza.
Ooh, see? More tips ahead on Inside MMA. Stuff like that.
Lion Fight president Scott Kent talks Muay Thai in America. And we take a look at the star-studded July 27th fight card when Inside MMA returns.
The chosen one, AJ Mata. That's good night, Irene. That's the crowbar. Darian Holdwell. Snackbag, meet me somewhere. What a jam-packed card we have for you tonight.
We've all had those moments. When you lost the thing you can't believe you lost. When what you just bought just broke. Or when you have a little trouble a long way from home. As an American Express card member, you can expect some help. But what you might not expect is you can get all this with a prepaid card. Spends like cash, feels like membership.
They're part of this decade's most original music.
Coming live to Access TV, Rodrigo and Gabriela have spread their acoustic Latin sound across the globe.
The kind of success they're enjoying is always a fairy tale. It's always very exciting.
I mean, let's see what the future holds. See their sold-out show as they perform their unique blend of metal, jazz, and world music live with the Colorado Symphony at Red Rocks.
The split, the timing, the ferocity, the big boom shakalaka. It's good night, Irene!
We're seeing the action of lion fights here on Access TV. It has been exciting Muay Thai action that has created a buzz throughout the MMA world and more. Coming up ahead, it'll be the third show of this season. Next week on Access, Scott Kent joins us. He is the president and CEO and the man that has put it all together. Scott, welcome in. We know what a buzz we hear from the fans that are watching it on Access TV. What's the feedback you're getting, and are you surprised at how fast it's caught on?
Yeah, I actually am amazed. We have been in business for about 2.5 years, and we're considered the premier Muay Thai promotion in the United States. We've got a fight next week. It's already virtually sold out, and I think becoming involved with Access TV has been a huge part of that. It's really opened us up to a whole lot of fans that we probably wouldn't have had before. So we're thrilled with the growth and where we're at right now.
And here's the card that you can see next week here on Access TV, or you can come to the event live. And, of course, you have Yudson Clay. He's a legend. So how tough was it to sign this guy to get everything started? He'll be fighting Lindsay, and that'll be in the middleweight championship.
Right. Yudson Clay is the greatest Muay Thai fighter of his generation. We're thrilled to have him. This is the second time he's fought for us. Chike Lindsay is the best middleweight in America. So it made sense. We want to bring the best international fighters in, and we definitely want to give our American fighters an opportunity to rise to that level.
What about Tiffany Versus? I mean, she's on a hot streak right now, but her opponent, I checked her out a little bit because I'm helping also Tiffany, and she's a bad lady.
Tiffany is a promoter's dream. She really is. She's cute, she's articulate, she's wise beyond her years. She's a very good fighter, very aggressive. This will be our third fight, I believe, with her. And we're bringing in Lucy Payne from England, who is no joke. She's a great fighter. She's a tall, aggressive fighter, and it makes for what we think is going to be an amazing ladies title belt fight.
Yep. You've trained in this. You've trained in Thailand. You've trained here in the United States in Muay Thai. What attracted you to the sport? And then what eventually led, with your background that you have, obviously working in Las Vegas, and you've been in the people person business for years, working with hotels there, to say one day this could catch on. Muay Thai, people are going to find out about this. Even if they don't know all the fighters yet, they're going to like the sport.
Yeah, I think for me it was kind of a culmination of a lot of things. And I've been in the casino business for 25 years, loved every minute of it. Had a lot of contacts in Vegas, and a lot of the people in the Muay Thai community came to me and said, you're exactly what we think we need for Muay Thai to become introduced into the national narrative of combat sports. So I looked, I turned 50 years old, and I had one of those Jerry Maguire moments where I said, this is what I want to do. And
show me the money!
Show me the money, and we got some great investors. I got Christine Toledo handling our matchmaking, and Jen Wank, who was with the UFC for many years, handling our PR. So we just think we're in a great place right now.
Yudson Clay said you had me at hello. And you approached him and said, we want you to come to the
English,
US.
but something like that, yeah.
Something like that, in the ballpark. If you aren't familiar with Muay Thai, and I know these guys certainly are, here's basically how it breaks down, looking at the overall rules compared to MMA and compared to kickboxing. And well, with lion fight, with Muay Thai, it's pretty much everything. You don't have to worry about the ground strikes. If you're on the ground, chances are you've been knocked out. Absolutely. That's the only ground game in Muay Thai, is if you're on the ground getting counted out. We bill it as the most exciting stand-up fighting in the world. It's the science of 8 limbs. It's kicking, its knees, its elbows, and its punches. So if you like stand-up fighting, it's a sport that's really tailor-made for you.
How did you come up with the name Lion Fights? Is that an animal that's big in Thailand, or?
No, actually, I just came up with it, and it actually seemed to work out really well for everybody. Everybody loved it. And I thought, wow,
this is going to be a deep answer, I thought. Nah,
sorry.
I walked by the MGM one day, and I looked over, and I said, lion.
Well, it is an international symbol. It represents very good things, and we felt it was a great representation of our sport.
That's your answer for next time, King of the Jungle.
King of the Jungle. Thank you.
He's the king of Muay Thai in the U.S. right now. Scott, thanks very much for your time. Best wishes. Look forward to more exciting lion fights coming up. We've talked about this guy hundreds of times. He was on our very first Inside MMA show. As Boss and I have said, if they have a Mount Rushmore for the sport of mixed martial arts, particularly the UFC, Chuck Liddell would definitely have his face carved in granite there. He remains a fixture on the scene in a different capacity with the UFC. So what's he up to? What's he thinking about the state of the sport now? Our Ron Kruk recently caught up with him.
I
fought for kickboxing and MMA almost 20 years. The hard part about moving from fighting for all my years, I always had something coming up. It was like moving on and figuring out I don't really have something coming up anymore. Right. What do I train for? What am I doing? What am I working for? What am I doing? You just have to find something to get focused on. And I kind of had to transfer that more into doing other business things, doing other things. You know, messing around with acting a little bit. It's fun. I have a good time with it.
Is there one fight that you would have liked to have to go out?
That's simple. I mean, I wish Tito had just done what he said he was going to do and fought me. I told Dana before he did that show, he's not going to fight me. Please don't have him do the show with me. I begged Dana not let him do the show. Week 1, he was already talking about he wasn't going to fight me. It ruined everything. I mean, for the show, and you know, that would have been that would have been a good one to go out on. I mean, it's an easy win, and to this day, people are, hey, I wish you could have knocked Tito out one more time.
Tito is bleeding profusely. As you look at the sport today, what do you feel is the biggest issue facing mixed martial arts today?
I'm probably not going to be popular with the fighters with this one, but my biggest problem is guys playing it safe. I understand it from a coach's standpoint and a manager's standpoint. I understand why you want to play safe and you want to win a fight, win every fight. I get it. But do I want to watch a guy go beat a guy for 4 rounds and then ride him the 5th round, not do anything? You want to be worth more? Go on, fight. Have fun. Knock people out. Submit them. Yeah. Beat them. I don't care. Just go try to finish a fight. I love St. Pierre. I think he's a great fighter. I just wish he'd open it up a little bit. He doesn't want to tarnish a legacy. He doesn't want to take a risk. Ever since he got knocked out by Sarah, he's been playing it safe.
And now, the news.
I said that about John Jones. You know, that time when he didn't take a fight on short notice. I mean, his excuse that he was a southpaw and he wasn't training for a southpaw, it's Chael Sonnen. He's not a slick southpaw. He just fought a southpaw anyway. He just fought Lyoto. I mean, you're supposed to be the best 205-pounder in the world, and you're worried about a guy that just lost twice at 185? I think you want to fight anyone, anytime, anywhere. I mean, it's not like they asked him to take a short notice fight. I mean, you're a champion. You shouldn't have to take a short notice fight. But you've been through a full count and you're healthy. Trust me, if I've been through a full camp and I'm healthy, I'll fight anybody rather than not have a fight. I want to get paid. That's one of the reasons I retired. If to stick around the way, me being the way I was fighting, I would have had to start playing it safe. I went out on my shield. That's the way I liked it. I mean, I fought that way my whole career. I didn't want to bore people for the last 3 or 4 fights.
Every week on Inside MMA, you get the fastest information in the sport.
This is Ultimate Access.
An up-close look at the critical issues.
I don't like the TRT at all.
It should not be allowed. We're out in the field with correspondents giving you access on the inside.
She's nasty. She's mean.
You get the honest opinion.
His mouth gets him fight.
And live interaction with the experts.
This is Fight Club with skilled fighters.
Don't miss Inside MMA, live next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
What's happening, guys? This is Justin Bieber, and you're listening to DJ Ski.
Hey, it's Rihanna, and you're listening to my boy DJ Ski.
I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No, you could never do that. You get extra time. Your family.
The police are fantastic.
The police are incredible.
The police are sexy.
The police are rocking.
The police are fun.
The police are smooth.
Kenny Rice, Boss Rutan, welcome back inside MMA. Where we've always talked about, that one fight can turn things around. Good or bad, Certainly, Jake Ellenberger knows that on a roll, like 6 in a row, loses to Martin Kampmann, then has to regroup and then come back. And he's now getting his shot coming up on the UFC Fox 8 card in Seattle next week, where he will take on Rory McDonald. It would appear, Dana White has even said this, one of these guys moves closer to getting a welterweight title shot. That is the way it is set up. And fresh now from a hard workout once again in Huntington Beach, California, is Jake Ellenberger. Hey, Jake. Thank you for joining us.
How we doing?
Good. How was the workout? How's the training?
Oh, it was great. It felt like it was never going to end, but it's all good, man. We're a week out.
Good, good. How's your twin brother, Joe, doing, by the way?
Oh, he's doing great. He's doing great. He's actually going to be in Seattle with me next week, so he's doing good, though. Thanks.
Jake, what's this fight mean for you? I mean, you heard, I guess, Dana White saying maybe the winner of this fight would get the next welterweight title shot. Maybe. So coming into McDonald, how's everything in your head for this fight?
You know, everything's on point for me. I don't like the word maybe. It really doesn't mean anything. I'm just looking at this fight specifically. And like I've done my whole career, is taking it one fight at a time. So, you know, I'm focused on Rory and what I got to do to get past him.
What would you say is his weakness? And if you don't want to answer this because you worked on it, what are his strengths?
You know, I don't really spend a lot of time studying Rory. You know, I acknowledge what he does well. He's got a good jab. Sorry, it's extremely loud in here. He's got a good jab, but really I've been focused on what I got to do. You know, what I do to keep getting better and move forward. So me, obviously, it's no secret what I'm going to do. I like to fight inside and you know, get inside and let the power go. You know, do some damage.
You did, certainly, with the knockout of the night over Marquardt. The second in the row since losing to Kampmann. What did you learn from the Kampmann fight? Are you a different fighter these last two fights, Jake?
Yeah, I would definitely say I am. I mean, every fight, you know, you go through a lot of adversity. You got to make adjustments. You know, whether you win or you lose, and you sure make a lot more adjustments when you come off a loss. So, for me, you know, I worked a lot of my speed. The mistakes I made in that fight, I in a way looked past Kampmann, and you know, I learned not to do that. So, moving forward, you know, here we're with Rory, and I feel everyone who's fought Rory is really, they give him too much respect. You know what I mean? I've been in this position 1,000 times. You know, I train with guys that are the best in the world, and I have all the confidence going into this fight.
Yeah, you say it already. You know, a lot of people, actually including me also, I think he's got a bright future. What do you think? Experience, is that going to play a factor here? Because you have way more fights than him. Is that a big deal?
I don't think it's going to be a big factor, no. You know, he's been competing at this level for a while now. I don't think it's going to be a factor. The strategy is going to be everything, you know what I mean? And I've been working the same stuff specifically for Rory for the last 4 months. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a big factor now.
Hey, what's going on with all this Twitter stuff, Jake? We got your Twitter where you said, "Welcome to Shea Ellenberger." You know, some of your fans probably thought that was Ches, but Shea Ellenberger. Tonight's special is a canvas sandwich, bon appetit, and then yeah, McDonald fires back and says, "You've been talking it, and let's get down to reality." What's this Twitter stuff all about? Does that build up? I don't know. Do you guys get bonuses from the UFC for more Twitter followers?
No, you know, I do it more for laughs. I make myself laugh, and anybody else who gets a laugh out of it is great. But you know, for Rory, it's plain and simple. You know, all I need is one. I need to connect, and his night's over. He's going to have a canvas sandwich.
Man, I think you did a great job. The way you got your career. I mean, you did a bunch of organizations, but the big ones is IFL, Bodog, M1, Bellator, and now in the UFC. What do you see happening here? Are you going to be able to land that big? But we all know, once you land a shot, it's going to be good night, I think, for anybody on the planet because you simply have that power. Have you been working on setups, special setups? That's why I wish that you would have looked at Rory McDonald. I say you have the jab, but can you find the counters to counter one of his strikes and go for that big bomb?
That's really the equation right there. I appreciate the compliment, boss, too. It means a lot coming from you. But that's the whole strategy going into this fight is really you know, getting to where I feel comfortable and where I do well. And that's, like I said, being able to evade his jab, the kicks that he does well, and get inside, you know what I mean? So for me, speed is the biggest factor. The thing I've been working on for the last year is just my speed. My power really means nothing without the speed. I mean, I look at guys like Mike Tyson, who is one of my favorite fighters to watch of all time, and all the experience, you know, behind me has definitely helped, but I got to be able to perform, you know what I mean? Like I said, whether you talk or you don't talk, you got to perform under the lights, and that's what's going to happen next weekend.
And you got to serve up the canvas sandwiches face down, don't you, Jake? Always face down.
Canvas sandwiches. That's the way it's going to end.
Jake, thanks for your time. Good luck.
Godspeed, bud.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks, guys.
All right. Jake Ellenberger getting ready to take on Rory McDonald. Big fight for both guys.
Yep.
Probably the winner moves into #1 contention. It would seem that would be the case. So for McDonald, you know, you just kind of laid it out there for Rory. We know he's got a knockout power.
Yep.
McDonald, what does he have to do to avoid that and win the fight?
Okay, well, it's easier said than done, of course.
Yeah,
because
that's why we say
he needs to see if he can land it. Now, Jake Ellenberger's great wrestler, needs to watch out. Although he's got that knuckle powder we talked about, needs to watch out because McDonald is the crisper striker, has the better combination. It's going to be hard to take Ellenberger down for McDonald also, so he has to see if he can wear him down, put lactic acid into his shoulders, and see if he can slow him down as well, because, as I mentioned now a few times, that's the thing with Ellenberger. He's got that bizarre power. This is a guy who's been always flying under the radar, Jake Ellenberger, but he can stop everybody. He was the first guy to knock out Jake Shields also. So, you know, if he can land it, and that's a good thing to go into a fight. If you know that you only have to land a punch, and if that happens, it could be the end of the fight.
Thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
See, I was taking notes over here. People say, while you're shuffling, I was taking notes.
That's how people do it, man.
And now we're going to read some news. You know, this Chris Weidman, he's on a bit of a roll.
Oh, yes.
Chris Weidman's doing well, the new champ in the UFC. He's a big deal out on Long Island for many reasons. Number one, he was an All-American at Hofstra. He was before that a junior college All-American at Nassau Community College. And, of course, he is now the UFC middleweight champ. And he was honored with Chris Weidman Day this past Wednesday in Nassau County. Hundreds in attendance there, several of his fans taking pictures in Baldwin, New York, his hometown. And he received a specially made Town of Hempstead Championship belt for his relief efforts in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy. And, of course, that rematch with Silva was announced coming up at UFC 168, December 28th. So he tells us about ready to answer his critics who thought that first time around was a fluke.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. There's a lot of people out there who are going to be thinking, oh, Anderson Silva, there's no way he possibly could have lost this fight. I mean, he's like a mythical figure in their eyes. You know, he's like the Bruce Lee. They all think he could beat up like 7 guys at one time. So I'm excited to go out there and show him, listen, no, there wasn't a fluke. I'm better, and I'm going to show it again. And my game plan is going to be very similar. You know, if there's takedowns available, I'm going to go for them. If there's openings on the feet, I'm going to go for them. And so just mix it up.
And congratulations again there. And Keone Coke, bad news for him. He's out of his fight with Pedro Munoz at RFA 9 next month. That's after he re-broke his hand, the same injury that postponed his fight from RFA 8. So now veteran Jeff Curran steps in to replace him to fight Munoz for the inaugural bantamweight title. You may recall that Curran pulled out of a flyweight title bout at RFA 8 last month due to his dog being severely injured in a car accident. And I don't want to hear any laughter at that. Anybody that's ever had a dog knows. I mean, I've lost family members.
Bernie.
I didn't cry over like my dogs. Haven't you?
Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie. RFA 9 is August 16th at StubHub Center in Los Angeles. You can see it live here on Access TV, your home for. I think that'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting fight now. And the date is set for the CFA Women's Featherweight Tournament Finals. It will be Fallon Fox taking on Ashley Evans Smith. That will be in Coral Gables, Florida on October 12th. $20,000, and the inaugural featherweight title will be on the line. With Legacy 24 happening the night before in Dallas, this marks the first time ever that we're going to have back-to-back. You know what? It's not really the first time ever we've had back-to-back on Access. But in the old days, we had it a lot on HDNet.
A lot.
Yeah, Boston and I did that several times.
Yeah,
that's how we did it back then. That was back in the old days, you know, before color TV. Now, Roy Nelson is signed to fight Daniel Cormier, UFC 166 in October. All right, sort of. These two crazy guys have signed this contract. You know, Nelson's negotiating a real contract right now, But he signed this deal that was a handwritten agreement crafted by none other than Cormier. And their exchange take place, as most of them do, on Twitter. That's pretty good, isn't it? You see Nelson, first off, Cormier says, show me the money, win money. And Nelson fires back, I'm in. Sources tell us, though, that seriously, all fun aside there, that Nelson and the UFC are close to a real contract, real money on the line. And if so, it would probably work out that Cormier and Nelson would be fighting October 19th in Houston on the same UFC 166 that is headlined by Cormier's teammate Cain Velasquez in that rematch with Junior Dos Santos. On September 21st, light heavyweight champ John Jones will attempt to set a UFC light heavyweight record with another successful title defense, which would be his 6th in a row. In his way is Alex Gustafsson, who spoke to us about facing Jones and his first UFC title fight.
You know, I'm living the dream. It's a fight I wanted for since the beginning, and this fight is what got me up every morning to train, and and now it's in my reach. It's going to be explosive. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait. He's one of the best in the world. I want to be the best. To be the best, you have to fight the best, and I want to prove everyone wrong too.
So Gustafsson, that'll be interesting, you think?
You know, it's the first time I saw a stare out. They were standing in front of each other, and Gustafsson actually is a little taller.
He is.
It looked to me.
When he was here, remember, he was here on the set, much taller than we thought he was.
So that's going to be a fun fight to watch.
Now, what's really interesting to watch, and that is our WTF moment, an out-of-shape John Jones, who some now would say might be the best fighter on the planet since Silva's loss. Well, Gustafsson certainly seems ready. Here's what Bones tweeted out. Here's the before picture. Obviously, have some work to do.
You know what? It looks like it, but although, I can help hang my belly out like that, and then I can flex, and I got, of course, a 12-pack or something like that. But, no, it doesn't say anything. But if you look at the shoulders, though, yeah, maybe he is a little. But that's normal. He's not cutting weight right now. I hope, though, that he kept training, because some fighters don't do that. They take a break like 6 weeks, and I think it's the worst thing to do. I think you always should keep on training.
Yeah. Well, let's face it, an out-of-shape Jones for the average guy out there. Nobody, most guys in the UFC wouldn't even want to tangle with an out-of-shape Jones. Would you agree?
That's true. But, the guy who has his eyes on the big prize there, Gustafsson, he will be training very extremely
It's Clubber Lang. He's in there doing setups in that Spartan existence. Rocky's sitting there in the palatial mansion driving his
coach is watching Clubber Lang. He's watching him knocking people out.
Watch us some more.
You can't win!
We used to do back-to-back shows in the old days. Back when men were men. Yeah.
Click.
We count down the best of the week when Inside MMA returns.
My DNA is hard work.
It's crazy.
Sound. It's crazy. Come on. Life. Passion.
Grace.
Love.
My
DNA is music.
That's my DNA.
That's my DNA.
Break into every ballpark with MLB Network's Strike Zone, the channel that takes you to where the action is, live as it happens.
He makes the catch!
Big matchups.
Chance to be the hero.
Critical at-bats.
This place is ready to explode.
And the moments you won't want to miss. Break into the zone with MLB Network Strike Zone, Tuesdays and Fridays.
Get MLB Strike Zone, only in multisport. Call today for a half-price offer.
They've almost moved in, which means it's almost time for the fun part. House party! Yeah, I'd like to say the fun part is that they move with Dish. Now they get a housewarming gift they actually love. Frankly, I could use a flat screen. No, moving with Dish is better. They're going to get half off 2 sports packages. More sports? Oh, game on.
We'll move you for free so you don't miss your favorite games. Score the ultimate gift, half off 2 sports packages. And be sure to ask about our award-winning HD DVR, The Hopper. And catch an all-new Brother vs. Brother with the Property Brothers every Sunday night at 10, only on HGTV.
You're watching Access TV, your home for MMA every Friday night.
And welcome back Inside MMA. Glad that you could be with us.
Yes.
Appreciate our guests stopping by. Had some fun today. And look at what is coming up on Access TV Fights. As
like
Boss will now point out to us, Legacy 21 is next in Houston. That's just minutes away. Lion Fight 10 is July the 26th. RFA 10 on August 16th. And Legacy 22 on August 23rd. You did that just marvelous.
I know, I know.
You did that just so well.
Yes, I love to do that.
I think this might be the strongest card for Legacy coming up tonight. We got 2 titles on the line. We're going to see the female boxer who's now into the MMA world for the 4th time. We're going to see a guy who had some interesting fights, some exciting fights in the UFC, but then lost that position with them.
Yep.
He's making his Legacy debut. A lot on the line tonight for several of these fights.
I think so too. Very Holy Home. I'm looking for. I would come up Holy Home.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. I will come up with that song if I was there.
We paid Neil Diamond just now like $5,000.
God knows. Well, not we. That's
not us.
The TV station is
not
going to
us.
pay that.
All right. Now time for what we like to call the best of the week. And here it is. Let's start with number 1.
Number one.
Tony Sims knocks out Thomas Denny at Prize Fighting Championships to go to 6-1.
Okay. Number 4.
But number 4 is the Team Wildman fighter, Don Westman. Oh, wait, Sims is still there. And he's still win. Now there's Team Wildman fighter, Don Westman, submitting with a knee bar.
Beautiful.
That was nice.
Very nice. On his side, so he's got a lot of space behind his back. Very well done.
Number 3, Muay Thai champ Miriam Nakamoto stays perfect in her MMA career. She's 2-0, knocking out Yankovic. And that's Damon Owens with the head kick at New England Fights in Bangor, Maine, winning his pro debut, looking very impressive. And then Chris Cyborg. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Down the road.
Yeah.
She defeats Marloes Kuhn. The Invicta champ.
It's quite crazy to see when you see that raw power in the cage, you know, unleashed. Because if you talk to her, we talked about this before.
Right.
She's the sweetest lady you'll ever meet. It's very soft-spoken.
Yeah. And remember, she showed up, listen, and not always the best of times. During the suspension for the steroids, she came here, she talked about it. Of course, she denied it, but she came out, she faced up to everything, and has always been accessible. Ronda Rousey is the female face of MMA, and, you know, it's going to be interesting down the road, okay? Maybe a year and a half, but you just have a feeling that the best fighters are going to want to meet, and the UFC certainly has the money, they can work it out. When you fought, didn't you want to fight the best guy?
Of course, all the time.
You wanted to?
No, all the time. Every time they say, oh, did you have something against Rickson Gracie? You say, well, listen, at the time, everybody said he was the best. That's why I challenged him. I wanted to see what I could do against him. You know, that's normal. That's why you start fighting. Nobody becomes a fighter with the dream of becoming the number 15 of the world. Everybody wants the number 1 spot. I can guarantee you that.
It's like this show. You think we want to be? No, we're the number 1 show.
Why not?
That's right. That's
not
why
even
we're
bragging.
Here. No, that's right. That's just it. That's just it. But you know, the biggest thing is going to be, I think, in the women's division and the different weight classes, and will they work out a catch fight? That will be curious to see. That's something we'll be talking about as Benson Henderson gets ready to fight Anthony Pettis. I think that's going to be a real interesting rematch. And as we talked about with Pettis, you know, he was always hoping for this, had to pull out of the Aldo fight. Now he gets his chance again against Henderson.
Now he gets his chance. He better make sure that he is in shape. Although he fought in 5 rounds the last time and he went through that, but you still know that Benson Henderson is a guy who just pushes the action the whole time, and he has that gas tank. And you know, if you see Pettis, he's got explosive power. That means fast-twitch fibers. They need a lot of oxygen, and that's why you have to make sure that he comes in super duper shape, and see if he can pull off another crazy move. God knows, a double flying split kick or something from the cage. Maybe he runs on the top first a little bit, somersault back, and then he makes a kick. I don't know.
You made that up.
I might have just
That's
made that up.
impossible.
That's just out of my head.
That's impossible.
It's not in the script.
All right, we talked to Jake Ellenberger. He's having a little fun on the Twitter. You know, McDonald's serious about this. Because let's face it, McDonald lost the rematch opportunity with Carlos Condit because he got injured. So he knows what it's like to almost be there. And, of course, also almost there until he lost to Campman was Ellenberger. So, you know, the winner of this fight, good chance that they will get the next shot at the title.
This is going to be a great fight. Very scary.
All right, thanks for being with us. Scary action ahead. Ron Kruk is there to call it along with Pat Miletich. Up next, it's the Legacy Fighting Championship 21 coming to you live from that hot and beautiful city of Houston, Texas. Look, I can see it in the distance. Let's go there now. Whoop, whoop, whoop.